everyone, my name's Casey Bree Jensen, and I'm coming to you today from the Seattle Pacific University campus. Just right behind me, you can still see some students, faculty, and staff lingering where we had our prayer service at the First Free Methodist right here on campus. I had the privilege to be inside of that service, and I'm going to bring to you some of the clips that I saw. It was truly moving. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this before, where in the midst of tragedy there's been such a strength and such a pull for community, love, compassion, for even the shooter involved. And it's really, really an inspiration to the community here in Seattle, as well as I'm sure it's reaching all across our country in the midst of this crazy, horrific tragedy. So I want you to see some of the clips. First of all, I want to thank you for sharing your heart with us. I know it's such a sensitive time. I can't imagine what you're going through, especially as a faculty where these are your kids. So just whatever's on your heart to share your experience, what you're processing through.
Actually, I'm staff. I do teach a class here, but my full-time job is staff. It's a time of community right now. What's going on this campus is just support for each other today, and just being there for each other in the time when the unspeakable happens. And how do you go forward from being the unspeakable? And what we have found is just each other. The emails that have been coming across, we've been hearing from Japan, from England, from California, all over the world. Emails are coming into us individually as well as on campus, on just the world reaching out and supporting. From within the campus, our services, and there's a real fragile feeling today, but a very tenderness feeling and a very sweet feeling, and our hearts outpoured by just for everybody here. The families that were most closely affected, but our students are young. Some of them are experiencing death for the very first time, and in a shocking way that their world has been violated. And so what we're doing is through being able to have services into our faith in the Lord, His strength in the Lord, the hope that He gives us, in a way that we pray for the families, but we're also praying for the young man who was the shooter and his mother and father, of what they're going through. And this is what's all on our minds right now. And just everything is sort of stopped. We still have to, within this, things have to go on. Administration still has to continue. We're coming up into the last week. Business still has to continue, but it's through that there's still just a moment of just looking around and saying how much I love you. Just a hug, not having to say a word. Just standing next to each other. This community is absolutely amazing.
So I am here with Dr. Eaton, and he was the president for how many years were you the president
17
here?
years.
17 years. So this is family to you.
Right.
I'm sure you know.
No question.
Yeah. I'm sure you know faculty and staff here, students here.
Yeah.
It's only been 2 years since you haven't been the president.
Right.
How have you felt about the response of the community in this basically unheard of? I'm sure you never thought this would happen to this community.
Well, the first thing I would say is it's the ultimate nightmare for any president to anticipate that this could or would happen while you are president. And my heart goes out to Dan Martin, the president, and just all of what this leadership has to do now and all of that. But I could not be more proud of the folks of SPU rising to this occasion, responding, giving plenty of room and space for the pain of it all and even the anger about it and all of that, and yet at the same time coming together as genuine supportive community, and with Christ right at the center of it, the reconciling power of the gospel pulling people together. It just is a marvelous thing. I'm very proud of them. And I would say proud especially of the students. I just was so incredibly moved by the interviews that students did yesterday, and seeing the way they handle themselves, some of the response, even in the violent moments, some of the response of students, just incredible.
Anything that you want to say to anyone that may be watching? Some people that will be watching have been through a tragedy, a school shooting, but also to the nation, what you want to say about Seattle Pacific University.
Oh my, well, I just would say, all of this expression of pride in who we are, this sense of community as a Christian community, all of these things are so deeply important to me. And for Christians who may be hearing this, gather in community. That's the message that I would say. And then those may be looking inside, I hope they recognize something fresh and something good in the way that Christians can handle these things. So,
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, and my thoughts and prayers are with this community.
Yeah.
It's in my backyard. I'm close, obviously, very close to the situation, so I will offer whatever I can do, pray for people,
Thank
pray
you
with
very
people.
much.
I want to thank Seattle Pacific University for allowing our cameras in there, allowing me to go and meet students and hear their personal stories. It's been extremely moving to be able to just sit here and pray with people. I was in the media area of the chapel, and I looked around, and right next to me was a person from the Seattle Times. We had Como 4 just right down the way, and when they asked to get into small groups where people could pray for each other, without hesitation, every single person in that media section went around, introduced themselves to each other, and began to pray. I don't think there's a single person here on this campus that hasn't been touched by the unity, by the faith, by the hope of this community right here. And so I want to thank Seattle Pacific University, everyone involved, all the students that are going through such tragedy, for all that you're doing for our country and for the hope that you're bringing to us every day. Once again, check out all the other blogs that I've done, all the other interviews that I've done on this story. It's, once again, so close to my heart, in my backyard. I love this campus and I love this community. So check out those links, and also go to our forum and comment. Whatever you want to get out, this is a safe place to do it, as well as resources that you'll need to make sure you're walking through this if you are directly involved.